I was the first to take gospel music to the club. I was taking gospel music to the club. I was going to the club singing gospel music.
Please,
that was even before the birth of Afrobeat, before I switched to Afrobeat. It was that same you are, what and people were excited. People
in the club.
2023, Lagos calm down. Greater Lagos calm down. Two-Face was put alongside Charlie Poppy.
When was that?
2023 December. Two-Face had to be saying that I don't remember. I don't know me. Don't worry. I will soon give him a new song.
I want to ask, like, Blackface is still complaining about his reality. Like, please tell us if you know anything about that African queen between him and Two-Face.
When his partner brought the song, he did not put his name that he wrote the song. And this was the song that Kenneth Music fully paid for, fully handled, paid fully everything about that album. Do you understand? So which now required that the company had to publish. If there's anybody you should quarrel with or have issue with, he's your guy. And the guy said over and over he has been settling. Okay.
HohA Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, we're back again. This is HohA Podcast. The show is all about bringing back memories with music legend. Of course, today it's not going to be an exception because we have a legend again in the building. For some of you who have been listening to Nigerian music from the early 2000s, of course, you know the voice that you'll be hearing or the person you'll be seeing on this podcast. All right. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, permit me to welcome one of the biggest artists, female artists, one of the people that have paved way for the Nigerian music industry, the likes of Whiskey, Davido, Burna Boy, Thames, just mentioned the whole of them they are enjoying today. The artist I'm about to introduce to you paved way. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, give it up for the one and only KSB in the building. KS to the B.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on HohA.
HohA Podcast.
HohA.
HohA, that's in pidgin. It's like just say it as
HohA.
Okay, sir.
Just say it. Man, just talk out. I want to just talk my mind. HohA. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I get it. Thanks for having me. Kitty.
That's you, right?
I haven't seen you in ages.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. It's been a very long time.
Yes,
and I'm absolutely delighted to see you today.
Thank you.
After a long time. But the
you.
thing is that you still look exact way you looked 20 years ago when I saw you. You still look exactly. Maybe we should start from what's the magic?
Oh my God, gosh. Where do we start the magic? I think it's an Ogungwe thing. The Ogungwe is, we have the gene. We don't age like that. Exactly. They green. Apart from that, yeah. I think, of course, we take care of ourselves. Yeah. But when I work out, I go to the gym, and most importantly, I keep my heart free.
Wow.
I forgive. I forgive. Do you understand? I don't hold any. You vex me, but it cannot last longer than. I can't carry you to my mind to bed. I will age. You're not rich. Why should I age because of you?
Come on,
do you understand? Age, come and grow.
Yeah.
Gray hair. That's one part. So I make excuses for people's lapses, and also I forgive myself. In some cases, some people say, no, I can't forgive myself. I did this. I can't. I forgive myself. This was a mistake. Learn from the mistake. Move on. There's still life. If you have not turned that 6 feet thunder, I learned that some time ago. Like you learn to forgive yourself because it's stronger because the devil will not make you to be depressed. Even they're begging you. What are they begging for? Because now you make the mistake.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So nobody can bring you out of that mode of depression, of regrets, of had I known. Do you get? No, those are parts I don't walk. James, I forgive myself. Okay, it has happened. Okay, we've learned. What are the lessons to be learned here? And let's move on to the bigger thing. So I think that does it for me.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
those are the, things that, just be happy. Then, of course, music also keeps you young.
Yeah.
You don't indulge in all the things.
The other aspect. Okay. So let that bring us to the very first question. This is an impromptu question of what I saw. So let's start from the beginning. Because funny enough, some of these Gen Z, they would know the name. They probably have heard it when we were young. We need to refresh them. What was it like starting? For you, what was starting?
Wow.
Because I can imagine, because it's a male-dominated industry, and as at that time, you did, what was it like starting? Let's do a little background.
Okay, starting, it was like, a fresh plantation ground. It was like going to a bush, like, okay, they just discovered Bejuleki now, and they want to put the airport. So what was there was bush. It was virgin land, because the industry had just come to the end of itself. With the Sony Music leaving Nigeria, what are the names of those record companies that they had just they had just wound up. They had just shut down. How did I know? Because when we finished with my album, we now was Keke, D1 and I took it to Sony Music, and they said we had shut down.
Shut down Nigeria.
They say, but they're not recording that they had just shut down. And then that was when I told Baba Keke that if they shut down, and we went to there was Premier Records and a few other ones then, and nobody was ready. And they had started this heavy promo on me. It was huge, massive. And so we can't waste it now. So I told them we could start our own record company. And that was how we started Kenny's Music. And, they were on the radio. And, I had just moved back from London. And I had learned how to become an entrepreneur. I had learned how to start a business. And I stay on it with the Spirit of God guiding, telling me, okay, follow this, okay, do this. I just trusted God that, God, can we do this? Say, yes, you can. Do you get it? I said, okay, if God said you can. So that was how I was able to tell Baba Keke that we could start our own record company. And then so that was how we started. So we opened the record company. Don't forget, no record. The music industry was... And Alaba was there.
Alaba was like
with
an
foreign
industry
music.
principality.
Principality. Do you understand? They were with foreign music, and so there was no market for Afro hip hop. There was no market for what we brought. There was no market for the kind of gospel music I wanted to do. In fact, the Worthy, which was the hit song then, was compelled on us to produce by Sony Music because they heard me, they felt I was foreign. So they felt, for you to be able to enter this market, give us a Nigerian traditional vibe. Do you get? And that was why I did. You are worthy, worthy. You are worthy, worthy. You are worthy, worthy. Mighty God, you are worthy, worthy.
That was it.
You are worthy,
Classic
worthy.
masterpiece.
You are worthy, worthy. El Shaddai. And then we did the video. It was everywhere. And then, make a concert now. They say we shut down.
Really?
Yeah, look at that. And so, of course, we knew that we had to do it. And so doing it then was... So it wasn't now, we could not just have started a record company just to market Kenny's and Ogungbe.
No.
You understand? So we now had to introduce other artists. And then we had to bring in the remedies then for play. We introduced. So, and Baba Keke, they were doing hip hop. They were doing, hip hop. And then they were the one that started instrumenting with Nigerian artists doing hip hop on the Nigerian beats. Do you understand? And that was the remedies then. The plantation boys. Do you understand? And that was how we felt. Okay, we had products that was just beyond mine. Of course, there was another artist with Kingsley K. Wamilele.
I remember. Yeah.
So we had that. But now we had the remedies. We had Tony Tetwila, and so we had products. We had diverse products, and so my job, apart from being the artist, I was also an executive director
of the Kenny's music.
Of Kenny's music.
Oh.
I was in charge of production.
Oh,
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I was one that would follow the artist to the studio, then send Baba Keke to sample. Once he samples, he say,
it's okay.
You don't take long. She get and so there were two different roles on my shoulder, being the artist,
and also
being handling production, and then finding the markets.
Including finding the market.
Including finding the market and ensuring they were buying. Which included also putting Nigerian music for the first time in Alaba market. They were not selling Nigerian artists. They were selling foreign pirated. And they were selling where? Do you understand? So there were diverse roles I was playing. So it was hard. No social media.
No.
Do you understand? No digital markets. Do you understand? So it was hard. But we kept at it. I had a conviction that God had helped me to pull through to becoming an entrepreneur in the UK. And he taught me what I was doing then. Yeah. I said, he would teach me. And Baba Keke then trusted me and released funds to do it. Do you understand? And then so he was heavy on the radio. And he had to be doing the video, not video director. That inside AIT, they do. So it was the AIT guys that were handling the
video.
Prime Time Africa, whatever it was. AIT, Prime Time AIT, Prime Time.
Prime Time Africa.
Prime Time
Those
Africa.
people, Baba, they were the one that was doing the video. Until IIT came from America, my brother, he now started doing the video. No video directors, we were just doing it. Until maybe 2-3 years later,
Before
do you understand that we had established it? Then we're now sourcing it out to the video directors of. There was no Nollywood, but these guys there was a guy, I can't remember his name now, but he's big with Nollywood production now. He now veered out to be doing video productions, and that was how. So we could now face these. And so now becoming the artist, so I had to be playing the music, of course. The video now started bringing invitations to sing in churches. Do you understand? And then guess what? There were more of club performances, gospel artists.
In the club.
Yes,
Going to the club.
I was doing it in the club.
Sorry.
Yes.
You were singing gospel music.
I was the first to take gospel music to the club. I was taking gospel music to the club. I was going to the club singing gospel music.
In this Lagos?
In fact, we took it to Abuja.
Please,
that was even before the birth of Afrobeat, before I switched to Afrobeat. It was that same and people were excited.
In the club.
In the club. Sorry that they were smoking and dancing the song.
No, they didn't even if they were smoking.
Oh, doesn't matter. They're already in the club.
I was singing for.
They were drinking beer and dancing.
Definitely. It's a club.
Hello. See, your type, if you are Jesus, you will not die for people.
Exactly. I don't sacrifice my life.
So because that let me know my calling. Do you understand? It made me to know how different I was as a gospel artist.
Yes.
Just I would sing for the streets, put music for the club, put music for the church. So the same song could serve everybody.
Both sides.
Sorry, please. I would like to ask you. Man, I have so much respect for you. You know why? I listened to one of because of your the role you played in the Nigerian music industry today.
Thank you.
You played a very big role, but some people would not know. Now let me say why I say you played a very big role. I've listened to Baba Keke on an interview like this. He said you were the one that advised him to put up the record level.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just probably a broadcaster then. This time.
It wasn't just a broadcaster.
Okay.
It was the MD.
MD.
Power and AIT.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You understand? So that's what I said that when I came back. In fact, in London, when I told him I was going to start doing music, because I brought the songs from London. When the Sony Music said it was too foreign, we had to Nigerianize it. He didn't plan to start a record company. We didn't plan to. I was the one that said, we can't do it. Because I had just finished, before I went to the UK, I had just finished my MBA. master's in business administration. And there was a course that I loved very much, was entrepreneurial development. That was what I brought to play. Do you understand? So yes, I did.
And today the industry is very big.
We
Because
keep going.
Kenny's music started actually they were the bull and the stronghold of the music industry.
Not only that, not only that. There were other things. By the time Afrobeat, because when they call it Afrobeat then, Shake It, you remember, it was Afro hip hop.
But Afro hip hop were called.
It was Afro hip hop. And you know, there was a time with a beef wanted to happen between Idris and
50 Cent. Was it that one?
No, not even that. This Nigerian rapper.
Rugged Man.
Rugged Man.
Rugged.
Do you know what? Part of my assignment, because it was just really a few years after the Tupac and Big Daddy caught, you know, that rivalry, the death and all of that. And we prayed that in this Nigeria, it will not happen. Until date.
Yes.
It not will happen. They can be for later and they'll come back.
Recently, they performed together at an event that I saw two of them on stage.
So whenever it is any artist, any people with this young generation, this new one, forget. Because there's a covenant that's been stopped. And that was an assignment God put on me. So this industry was not just, it didn't just happen. Prayer birthed this today's Nigerian music industry. Prayer birthed the exportation of Nigerian music. In fact, let me confess to you. Because I didn't set out to be a singer. I was an intercessor. I was a part of a team that went to pray in London for the Holy Ghost service. Holy Ghost, what we have in Lagos, Holy Ghost service. They call it Festival of Life in London. So I was in a church, Redeemed Church, where God dispatched me to be part of the intercessors that will pay for the revival in London. The church in London. It was when I finished the work, God said, well done. But in the process when I was seeking His face, praying, He was giving me, I thought it was poems He was giving me. I didn't know they were songs. And I was writing. When it was time to come back to Nigeria, He said, okay, you're going back to Nigeria. And I said, man, I'm not going back to Nigeria. I like it in London now. I've started a business that He gave me to do. Do you understand? Like, I'm making pounds. I can't go. I said, when I said come over, you see, you didn't want to come because you just finished an MBA. Come and go back now. Your assignment is different. You have another assignment for me. But I'm equipping you with music. I said, which music? He said, go and check all the poems we've been writing. Those are songs. So not only are you taking songs back, you're going to go and be part of the architect of the new Nigerian music. And then you will be exporting Nigerian music. This was 28 years ago. Right?
That's
that time, it was named Blackie.
Yeah.
All these Willie Key.
They
were on Sonny Okosun. So when I came back, you know, when you're not to me giving me music, I just believed it because I've been moved for Jesus. So I don't argue. I don't get power. Do you get? So when I came back, and I started looking, where are the Willie Key? Where are these? I saw that the terrain had changed a bit. Do you get? And I got to work. So it wasn't too long that Remedies came. It wasn't too long that Plantation Boys, they had started. So they had started cooking up stuff. It was Baraki and I felt, these boys are cooking up stuff. I'm hyping. I said, okay, you're hyping. Don't waste the hype. I can market. And so the first Nigerian concert in the UK was by Kenny's Music. Then we are signed on Two-Face, and then we put what's this? Fuji guy.
Adewale Fuji.
No.
Pasuma. I mean, sorry, Obesere.
So it was Obesere, Idris, Two-Face, me, maybe Tunchechula and a few other. That was the first time we exported Afrobeats.
Yes, it's me, the Weird MC, the Rapperton MC, the Peculiar One, and I'm here at the HohA Broadcast Studios, and we're hammering it down. The Shamo. Peculiar Way.
HohA Podcast.
I'm saying, you know, we call it Afrobeats.
Yes.
Not Afrobeats. It's Fela that is Afrobeats.
Yes, that's right.
So it was the first time. And so this, what is happening now that we're getting Grammys and all of that, it was in God's plan for Nigerian youth because he knew there would be a time. Do you understand? You know, there's a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the Nigerian youth and the government. And God knew he had to create another platform for the Nigerian youth to be making money. And he now poured out the talent. So that's why you had the likes of OJB that time. They were waiting for something. They knew something was coming and they were waiting.
Timing.
For that timing. That was why even Whiskey, when he said he started in Surulere, going to OJB's studio.
Really?
Yeah.
Whiskey of today.
Whiskey. He started with OJB. Because OJB was one that positioned, he just knew there was something coming. Something was coming. And so the biggest song that came out of Africa then was done by OJB, African Coin.
Yeah.
Then the entire Two Faces album, the first biggest that now brought the attention of MTV and the international community to Nigeria. And so all of that was Kenny's. And all of that I was a part.
Please, before we get it, I'll still ask you one question about what you're just saying now. But before Lakiti continue, because I know you get many questions, you don't write your own question down. Please, why I say I respect you so much, because your own style of music is very different from others. You were able to infuse the hip hop thing and gospel together. You were the first person I heard doing like gospel and hip hop together. You know, that kind of thing.
Afro, we call it
gospel, hip hop, and everything was infused. You were the first, because I remember the likes of yours. One of your songs I grew up listening to. Isha Oluwa Kole Baje. Yeah, I don't understand Yoruba, but I listened to that song to the extent that I know the song.
I was the first artist to shoot a video in South Africa.
In Nigeria?
Yeah. First Nigerian artist to shoot a video in South Africa. That video of that song was shot in South Africa.
Really?
Because I was the first female artist to get a HohA Awards nomination. Best gospel artist from West Africa. And then HohA was done in SA in South Africa.
Okay.
That time there was no Channel O.
Really?
There was no Channel O.
Like the history of this industry is like everything. You were there when everything started. So
we started. Not that we were there. We started it.
Yeah.
This industry.
We started it. There was an assignment. It was an assignment on my shoulder. God said, since you did this, okay, I've given you this as a gift. That's why my brother would not go anywhere without saying that this thing started with my sister. My sister said, let us start the record.
He said it.
Because God told me we were going to be exporting Nigerian music. And this was in 1996. 29 years ago. Because I came back in 1997.
97, okay. Probably when I was planning, when I was doing my kind of okay, so let me tie it from the family now, of Babaki K. You know, you're going into music.
Yeah.
Is it because of the family background, or apart from the fact that you explained that you didn't even plan it, being from your family? Yeah. As in, you had all the from your in-law to your aunts to your brother, everybody. Sister, it looks as if everything was set for you to just jump. It
wasn't so.
Was that why you
entered music? It wasn't so. It wasn't so. Okay. It was God that knew how he planned himself. Do you understand? What was in existence? Yes, great power was in existence. But if I knew I would be doing music, why would I have gone to do an MBA? University of Benin. Do you understand? It took me 4 years. All that MKO, Abiola, this thing, and Babangida, they shut down school for 1 year. It affected me. So I stayed and obtained my master's degree. Do you understand? But I want to say that the way I entered, and it passed me, I entered God. I discovered God at the University of Benin. How did I discover God? I failed. The MBA, you must have been the expert die. I failed and they expelled me.
From school?
Yeah, my master's. Uniben, they would forget to learn masters and then they expel. Guess what? They reached to expel me. I had my first degree in English. English arts. And I went to go and do MBA. Maths, I don't know. Calculus, I don't know. Economics, policies, I don't know. Statistics, I don't know.
So MBA in what?
A master's in business administration. So it brings in engineering, it brings in law, it brings in marketing, it brings in accounting, it brings in economics. It brings in statistics. But I was a pure art student who had P8 in mathematics.
Which is fair enough for an art student.
So in my life, I didn't think I would ever need mathematics. But there, destiny arranged it for me. That University of Benin at that time, they were taking people to come and do MBA just with any background. Because they knew they could train, they could teach, they could tutor, they could mold somebody into that space. And that was why I went. So it wasn't because of me not passing. And I said, I will not go back to Lagos without this degree. I discovered God. I discovered Jesus. And I started just saying, okay, I'm just going to be working in the line of Jesus. The direction he gives me was what I will follow. So that was what brought music to me. As I was going to London after my master's, I did not plan to go and come back as an artist. I just went as an intercessor. Do you understand? So music for me, prayer person. See, even till today, I enjoy praying more than singing.
Really?
See, you can lock me here and tell me pray 6 hours. I dey pray, they go my belly go, they sweet me.
Wow, no wonder.
That explains that your worship when I watched it was more worship.
Prayer prayer is like food for me. You don't give me food 3 days. Tell me, just put me down, tell me to pray, and give me my Bible. I will get inside. So God said, you have done this thing, you have impressed me. You can't go back empty-handed. So believe, which meant that my destiny, which was in Christ Jesus, carried that glory of singing God's worship, God's praise. I didn't know. So even when I told Baba Keke from London, I'm coming back, I've started singing, you don't even ask me which kind of song. And we hadn't started record company. That's what I'm saying. We hadn't started until I came, and then there was no record company to market me. I now told them, we can do it. I remembered what God told me, that you're going back to Nigeria. You're going to be part of the people that will be exporting Nigerian music. He didn't even say Keke. I didn't know the people.
Even though it was your brother.
So let me tell you another one.
Okay.
By the time we now go deep into the job, now we're now recording artists, Born to now, this was my summer because Bakake was to hype, promotions, marketing.
Yeah.
I forgot I was an artist. Do you understand? It took God to say, you have forgotten yourself as an artist though. We are now into this other assignment. It's a double assignment in one. It's a double. I released an album. I released an album just a few months ago.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, I'm back. I even came with it. Wow. I'm back doing music. Because, we'll get there. We'll get there. For every time I forget I'm an artist, it reminds me, no.
Don't lose this.
This is it. I opened a restaurant sometimes about 10 years ago. Big restaurant, and they say he waited for me to open it. I said, okay, this is the last day you will come to this restaurant. You are bringing my anointing to sing, to come and cook jollof rice. Shut it down. I shut it down. So just to answer your question. So it was in my destiny too. So I was the one that now started the company. Do you understand? With Baba Keke. So it wasn't that the table was laid
down.
I walked like a jackal. So that's what I'm saying. As I was working for me, because those were days that we were discovering new talents. Baba Keke had discovered the remedies. They discovered Tony. Tony was the remedy. They split. So I was building this one's career. Then he discovered Paul Play. Building this one's career. His own assignment was drop the money and go and hype. I was one that was recruiting. I was one going to the market. So what kind of, it was too much of a job for an artist.
Sure.
And I still needed to be an artist. So
and you were able to do
still record your own song.
And I was able to still push myself.
Please, sorry, I want to ask this question. Thank you very much for that. You're making us very clear now. You understand what was going on by that time.
Yeah.
It's another thing for people to know that you actually contributed in the Nigerian music industry today.
Yeah.
And it's another thing again for people to appreciate.
Engineered.
You engineered. Architect.
Drop the ground.
Builder.
Okay.
The foundation. We laid the foundation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not contributed because we know I know they make noise like
people like us.
Okay.
Contribute is later when you now bring your
yes.
Do you understand?
Okay.
The starting.
Okay, it's one thing for people to know that you are the architect of the music industry in Nigeria today, part of the pioneers, and it's another thing for people to also appreciate, like people who came after you, to appreciate the work you've done or put in. Are these new cats now? Do they recognize? Do they appreciate it? I don't know. Are they maybe in their post or maybe in their account or that they say KSB did this for us? Thank you. Have they do they appreciate?
What do they know? How would they appreciate what they don't know?
They don't know.
It was not a part of me I wanted to put out. Because it got to a point that the part of me I wanted to put out was being the artist.
Yes, which was what I knew too.
Do you understand? That's all you knew.
That's
because all you knew. That was also important to God. Because He had already poured the music. Music lives here. Do you understand? So if I died and I'd gone back to heaven, and I would have said you failed. You only handled one. You ignored the other one. Do you understand? So I'm not in a place to make anybody feel like, but I can take it back to the few of them that are well grounded, like Tiwa Savage.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Tiwa Savage.
Anytime Tiwa is out there and there, maybe in that space, he may not tell everybody to stand up. He will tell them that, ladies and gentlemen, there is a legend here. Miss Kennison Brown, thank you for all that what you did. Thank you. Because I remember even when she first came back from the UK, those were days that I had just discovered Essence.
Okay, Essence.
The one I did, heaven came down. And so I was taking Essence around. There were not many events now. Not many events everywhere. No events, no awards. So for the few events there were, I wanted the world to know this talent. Even if it was just for her to sing national anthem, I was fine. Do you understand? And so there it was this rhythm unplugged hadn't started.
Oh.
Yeah. It hadn't started. It was Rhythm 93.7. They were always having their own show in Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was always Femi Kuti that was heralding. That was the biggest. Do you understand? And there, Tiwa Savage was on holiday. And then she came. So the same national anthem I brought Essence to come and do, they brought Tiwa to come and do the national anthem. So even we that came to we were like, this one happened. See
as in registration.
Oh my God. So we were just there enjoying her. Do you understand? And so one of the days, when we were there, I now reminded her. She was so happy. She said she's been telling people that she came, that nobody knew. I said, I knew. Do you understand? See what I knew? That she even told Femi Kuti that one day, sir, I opened the show for you one time. She said, you went. She said, so you were there? I said, I was there. You opened the show for Femi Kuti. Do you understand? And that was where she was 19 years old.
Wow, Tiwa Savage?
Yeah.
Quite young, yeah.
She was 19.
Sorry, what year is that?
It's 97.
No. Let's say about 2001, 2002.
Okay.
Yeah, 2001, 2002.
You should.
Sure, you understand.
Yeah.
So for Tiwa, who knew? So this time now, when Tiwa she was now back as an artist, we had Kenny's Music Easter Fiesta. And then Baba Keke put her, which was the biggest show. And Baba Keke put Tiwa to be on the show. So she was afraid to face the crowd because we're looking at over 20,000 crowd.
Yes. It used to be crowded like that. Because it
was the biggest. There's still no show. There's still no show as big.
The biggest Easter event in Nigeria.
Kuramo Beach. Okay.
You never came now.
I never come.
It's still in Abuja.
If you come, now Pikin, who's going to release Anyway, so I was the one telling someone, don't be afraid, calm down. She said, okay, because it was a wild crowd. They're massive. You are not doing what that sand, they feel sand in the bottle, they will throw you DJ. So maybe she had witnessed one where they threw a bottle of sand at an artist. I said, so I was there to hold her hand. Don't worry, pull your shoes, okay, auntie. Okay, then she went, she was able to do her song. I know the kele. Do you understand? And then she came down, she was happy. So Tiwa, and if you check now, she's the oldest. So you see these ones that just came. Do you understand? So the one that is the oldest amongst them, they still give the kudos. Then Waje, Waje was one that launched Waje in Lagos.
Really?
Yeah. So Waje cannot say that. Do you understand? They still give the kudos. Among me, they still. So these were the ones that came like 10 years after I came.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they do. So, but after, apart from that, Gen Z, not Gen Z. This sex months, I guess, I'll be Gen Z.
Yeah, why not?
I'll be Gen Z.
Gen Z.
So if what you don't put in their faces, except if their parents, still play those songs when they were growing up, they'll be like, yeah, okay, some of the people that even knew that, like, Turn Me Around. If they hear can say, but they'll be like, okay, and the others say, the song Turn Me Around. They'll be like, yes.
That is the next question I want to ask now.
So it's exciting. The thing is the gift of God that you are still even here. To be among the next how many generations. Because there are generations that came after me that they don't even remember.
Yes.
I'm even asking, where is Reminisce? Reminisce came maybe 15 years after me. Now, this generation, you will say MI, they will ask you, who is MI?
Exactly. There are people that will still ask you.
They will ask you, who is MI? They ask you,
who am I?
Oh, the Idris Abdul Karim. What's that? Is that
like my kids, they listen to music now and they don't.
So whom are you going to blame? This sound does not have loyalty. Hip hop, Afrobeat, there's no loyalty. They can be loyal to the song, they're not loyal to the artist. Because I don't want to see they sing. Do you understand? So, like what you do, I'll comment what you're doing.
Thank you.
Do you understand? Because you bring in the veterans or the legends, the iconic people, back and then putting them out there. It's one of the best things that's happening too. Can I shock you? Last year, 2023, Lagos calmed down. Greater Lagos calmed down. Two-Face was put alongside Charlie Poppy. Two-Face was performing. They were just looking at him like this.
When was that?
2023 December.
Like, who is this?
15 months ago.
Two-Face, a whole legend.
Two-Face had to be saying that I don't remember. I don't know me. Don't worry. I will soon give you a new song. They're just looking like, who it is? Because we're in a generation where everything is now. It's that validation. You see, the song is
no time.
But there is even time. There's only time for the Burna who has been announcing I'm releasing. For a Whiskey who has been announcing I'm releasing. For Davido who has been announcing I'm releasing. So they're on the lookout. Before they go find Two-Face, wait on. Share your understand. So it takes this kind of platform and others. Others that will say, okay, we're going to be having concerts, only the icons. Do you understand? Then that's how this thing can. Okay, what you are talking about? What about Rizwiliki? What about Blackie? To just mention, what about Sonny Neji?
And they're there.
Yeah. What about Daddy Shuki is even having all the noise? But if you see my mama, they look and say, well, your mama loves.
Exactly.
So that's the generation that we belong to. It's instant. Everything is so, and it fades so quick. A song is trending right now.
It's called,
do you understand?
Next one, kick it out.
On to the next one. So we're not going to blame them. We're not even waiting for people. You don't have your time. Do you get? So we're not coming to say you raise money for us.
No, at all.
Do you understand? So, okay, come and raise money for this. No, we're good. We're doing well.
Fine. Just like the way you're looking good. Thank you. I want to ask you, before you did a song with the late Dagrin. Which is what's that song? Papa God Turn Me Around. And he rapped in that song. Okay, was that the remix of the song?
No, I think it was
the original song. It was the original song. Featuring Dagrin.
Yes.
Papa God Turn Me Around. Yeah. Please tell us the experience.
It's
Turn Me Around. Turn Around. Thank you. Please.
Shot in a ship, like lovely video.
Lovely video. Please tell us the experience working with Dagrin.
Before Nigerian Beauty started their talent hunt, I started my talent hunt. Before Nigerian Beauty.
Nigerian Beauty?
Yeah.
That's
Star Quest.
Where Star Quest,
Before Star Quest, KSB.
Star Quest is probably one of the oldest.
Star Quest discovered the first
KC
and that was at Star Quest what is it called, casting that I discovered Asha. Asha should have won that Star Quest, but they didn't even give her the ticket, even at the auditioning. Auditioning, not casting, auditioning. So it was when I had mine. In fact, I was going to, Babake was telling me that, slow down, Nigerian Bees is coming with their own, it's going to dwarf what your effort. But I waited forever. They didn't. I just did mine. And so it was at that event. What did I even call it? I remember in the course of this interview. And I discovered Dagrin. He came, he made the first auditioning. He made the second or the third auditioning. He made the semi-final.
Wow.
Yeah, he didn't even make it to the final.
Okay.
That was how I discovered
Dagrin. Wow.
So when I changed my sound in 2009 to Afrobeat, Shaman was my major producer. The same Shaman that has the lounge. What's that lounge? The secret place. So he was and so Dagrin was always hanging out with him so that he could put him on his productions.
Okay.
Shema was the producer.
Yeah, Shema was like the big.
He was the biggest. He was between Shema and Don Jazzy that time. Do you understand?
Yes.
And the ID Kabasa came.
Yeah.
And so when I told Shema the song, he had come to take my voice and how the direction of the song was going to go. He was too excited. It was Shema that coached me. It took a long time to do that song. Do you understand? He said, Auntie, there was a way they're pronouncing words now in this Afrobeat, so the Afro hip hop. So do you understand? So, but I will be bringing Dagrin to do the rap on it. And so Shema brought Dagrin. So it was when he brought Dagrin, I'm like, I know you. And I say, yes, man. That's on your talent show.
Wow.
That talent show I discovered Obi-Wan. Yeah.
Wow.
Reminisce. There was another guy before Reminisce, but in that they click.
Vector.
Was it rapper?
A rapper.
It's not isolated.
He's not isolated. No. Anyway, I discovered quite a
Wow.
lot of them.
Key or something.
CCQK.
No, not CCQ.
He was writing jam. Anyway, so it was Shaman that now brought him. Dagrin. So he now, and I was like, I know you. And I said, yes, it was on my talent show. He made it to the semi-final. And that was how he came on the show, on the song. But guess what? If you listen to his rap, the song, Babaloke Toma, is a prayer request.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he also came with his prayer request.
On the rap.
All the rap. If you listen to that rap from beginning to end, his prayer request.
His prayers.
She heard the boy Baba do when me so okay, Jack me to okay, Jack my for locate, I want to bury me, Jack come up with more okay, or me can say Kate or want me to monkey, move my Bentley, let it go me gently, or when you want me or I ask my Jared Slim, move a little to copy my cadenu, guy can do Babalaya, call you put me money, guy. I think well, look, KSB, put it in a be, won't go what it to be, that you will be, KSB will be, a mother long, that being possible, who you be, what by day me, what by me, you want to go, motive tó ti ṣe kò tí ì tó kì í ṣojú kòkòrò ìwọ ló ní kí n má bèrè ó yá turn me around.
The classics.
Nice one.
When he died, I cried.
I remember saying.
I cried because everything, the prayer request on that song, God did for him. And I said, God, what happened? Because they go and listen to his prayer request. There is no long life.
He did request for
Sorry, say it again. Explain it again.
He said, go and listen to his prayer points in that song.
There was
all of them.
Not one
there
for
is
long
no
life.
He just said, make I blow. Let me make money. Let me be rich. Let everybody know me worldwide. And God granted everything.
All that, yes.
So that song as a turnaround, God granted it because I also got my turnaround. It's the song that's taking me all over the world.
Till today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me ask this question because I want to bring us to the now. We've talked about the past. Now, recently, we had even men of God, because this is your territory, come out to say that artists are not supposed to collect, gospel artists are not supposed to collect money. I don't know if it means that their reward is in heaven or whatever. What is your take on this topic? Because I've had some had said they shouldn't collect money. Some have said, hello, is a craft. God gave me, I'm supposed to trade. Even Jesus, when he gave someone a talent. So I want to know your take, considering that you are not just a gospel artist.
Yeah.
You're a gospel artist that was there in the mainstream.
Yeah.
So what's your take on this generally?
Okay, it's mixed feelings.
Okay.
You know, it goes both ways.
Okay.
Number one, the gospel music terrain has two divisions. It's so rich. Now we can say it's divided like this. The gift from God. So you have the gospel music ministry. And then you have the gospel music artistry. And so when you are the gospel artist, you go charge you.
Okay.
You will charge because you are an artist. It is what you have sung that they have resonated. In fact, you want to use the popularity of the artist to bring crowd
To your church.
to your church. Or probably your church. There's a particular song of a particular artist, gospel artist, that your church likes, the crowd.
Why not?
So it will be a disservice when you are doing events, you don't bring that particular artist.
So
Do you understand? So on that, so you are at the mercy of the artist. So the artist can say, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that.
okay.
So it is in your place to say, okay, we meet all that, or even do beyond. There are some, they even though they blow your mind. There's some ministry, they will blow your mind. Go say, now this same present worship, whatever they do now, then they
give me this
us
kind.
private jet to come carry us like this. It will humble you, right?
Yeah.
Then there's the gospel ministry, where you are to minister the glory of God, the power of God, the essence of God, to bring in what makes God God.
Girl, no diggity, girl, no doubt. The way you on your back, I see the man them they shout. Girl, no diggity, girl, no doubt. And in the edge, you run the north and the south. Yeah, man, respect large. Ras Mike there, so tribunal posse. Me love all the massive bone crew. You're watching HohA Podcast.
HohA. Tokam ACB.
And that pastor, they know they want, they've prayed to God for a shift, a new dimension in God. And they know that when you sing, you bring that dimension of God that can bring that shift. You, that minister, you know how you got to that place. Because you were first an artist before God pulled you out to make you a minister. That's some refiner's fire. There's some burning out. There's some dying on the altar. Where it's only God that can wake you and raise you. There are things that you and God in conversation, that your sick bed, maybe cancer, maybe whatever. And then you enter the covenant with God. If you can do this, I will do this. And God is just waiting there. See, before you people will say, hey, is the Eve that you gave me, Adam? Is Eve that you gave me that cost? I didn't ask you to give me evil. God will make you to say, Father, at your will. It is that we're going to this, it is about souls. Or there's a gift in God, there's a point into you that God wants to pour upon the youth of a particular church. And then you use money to stop it. Your career, they stop. That ministry is stopping. So ministry is extremely sensitive. And artistry is volatile.
That's right. Okay. I'd like to ask
Do
this
you
question.
understand? Do you understand? So when you're an artist, you are just going with the mission, with that God is about to do something, and I cannot fail in this agenda of God. So the whole of heaven, it was just like when Jesus was up there and he stretched out and he said, God, Abba, Father, I didn't know this pain will be the sin of the whole world. And then he remembered for the glory that was set before him. He agrees that not my will, but your will.
Wow.
So there are things God would have shown you as a minister. There's a glory God sets before you. That whatever money you want to cause them will be too small compared to the glory. Look at Nathaniel that said that he not fit.
He doesn't have
But
to
he, he had a lot of times, he had cried back a lot of times. But look at, he can't even begin to come out to say the kind of the dimension of the blessings
that
he enjoys.
Yes.
So there is a journey. If God has not taken you to reach that journey, you say because Nathaniel is doing it, you do it, you go. If you're an artist, now you go cry. Your band boys go disappoint you. But with this one, the band boys already knows. The band boys already knows he's not collecting. If you come back with anything, fine. They will come back and be thanking God. I'll be looking at the souls we won, looking at the lives that were changed, that transformed, the outpouring, the influence of the glory of God. But now your account alert you, they look, they don't share you. So it's a different law.
Perfect answer. Perfect.
Because I had to give
that
up
settles
because
it in
I had
my mind.
played the two.
No,
because the level, the assignment for me now is ministry. So they can't come here and say, hey. Do you understand? Because I know what is being said before me.
Okay. You said you did business administration and some stuff like that, the business part. So, you should know the business part of it.
I'm a music executive person.
So, thank you for that.
So we know the business side of
part
it.
of it.
Yes, and then but we also know I know the ministry part of it.
All right. I would like to ask, like when you started, I said there's a question I want to ask you, but I'll leave it to
you guys did not record
now.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Like you said, you were the executive, like part of the engineers in Kenny's music those days.
Architect.
Architect. Thank you.
Of
Sorry.
today's Afrobeat.
And you work with Kenny's music, and you're even the pioneer, like you.
Part of the
you brought the idea.
Yeah.
I want to ask, like Blackface is still complaining about this reality. Please tell us if you know anything about that African queen between him and Two-Face. Can you just explain to us? Let's
okay,
see
the little that I know is that he wrote the song.
Blackface wrote the song. Okay.
But when his partner brought the song, he did not put his name that he wrote the song, which is Two-Face. And so as a company, your relationship is with the artist who brought the song.
Oh, yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And this was the song that Kenny's Music fully paid for, fully handled, paid fully everything about that album. Do you understand? So which now required that the company had to publish with the publishing company, which is in America, BMI. So if you now claim, hey, it's my song, you want to go to BMI, BMI doesn't know you. BMI doesn't have any relationship with you. Do you understand? So if there's anybody you should quarrel with or have issues with, he's your guy. And the guy said over and over, he has been settling Oga.
Which is Blackface.
Which is Blackface. Yeah. Do you understand? But you know one thing about music, as in went to a group when they split, is one is always usually bigger than the other.
Sure.
Do you understand? So the one that is bigger will not be claiming he did this. So you'll be hating on the artist, hating on the record company. Do you understand? So that's just the simplest way to explain it.
Okay.
And I think if I were Blackface, if truly he wrote the song, by now he should have done his own cover.
Yeah.
He has done it.
So that's hating and all. It wasn't really.
I've done his cover.
It was out of ignorance. Okay. He did cover now.
In fact, I heard Vbaba said they had even resolved. From the time Vbaba said they had
resolved that.
They have put him one way or the other. They put Blackface to some benefits.
The royalty area, I don't have.
I think Baba said that they had included his name one way or the other.
So if he has any issue, it's with the guy. This guy is not just the African queen story.
Okay. So because of this story, let me put it like this: if you want to look back now, considering the fact that we know your role, you pioneered most of this thing. If you look back, is there any particular event that I wanted to share with us and everybody that's watching today that you think was most dear to you that you've not mentioned there? A particular event, something that there's no way if you are writing your autobiography today, you definitely will put it in it, and we are not just mistakenly touched on it.
There's so many, being at the beginning of a revolution, of an industry, that so many, because it's the cumulative effect of that is what brought us here, but there was a particular one, because we were talking of experimenting with the sound, which we were calling Afro hip hop. We tried Afro Fuji.
Yeah.
With Idris Abdul Karim and Pasuma. Legally.
Yeah.
We tried that, it worked. We tried Paul Play.
But yeah.
So we put Mushorire on a fresh sound. It worked. But then we now tried Afro Juju, Afro beats, which was a mixture of the Juju music and Afro beats, this new sound. Don't forget that Sashino Peters had done Afro Juju. So we couldn't even call it Afro Juju. So we just left it. But I handled the production from the beginning to the end. That was the song. La 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 Friday.
Wale Thompson, thank you.
You know, I slept in the studio for 2 days on the floor to ensure that song came out successful. The production. Chris Okoro was the producer. And straight from the studio, I took the song straight to Alagbado. Because Baba Keke was going to start at 4 o'clock, evening drive or something, which was his own show.
Yeah.
And I put it in his hand, and he slammed it, and it became an instant hit.
Wow.
I remember that jam was bad then.
And guess what? Nobody remembered me again.
Yeah. You have done your job.
Not the artists, not. But each time I hear that song, I tell myself, well done. And then I told myself, if you handle that, you will handle much more. So with that, I was able to come back with my own album turnaround. Alaye with Ice Springs, then Terry G. You know, so I had sold myself as an investment, as a seed into everybody on Kenny's music. So it was my life, my energy, my time, and everything. It was to just bring the best out of you. I said, Paul Play. I was first to take Paul Play to the studio. Took Baba Keke's shirt, put it on him to a rebrand. So we'll just go to Keke's wardrobe because I would need a picture to sell a new image. So I was a stylist. I was everything, you know. But God compensated me with my own album, Afrobeat, and then I became the first artist to do Afro gospel. And so when Hedis was honoring me, they honored me as Afro street gospel artist.
You said it a lot.
That's the one I can hold on. Then the Channel HohA Awards.
Wow.
You know.
Wow, that is great.
For the same song.
Wow. Kudos to you. More clap for her. More clap for her. You don't shout. We just have those 2 minutes to round up. 2 minutes, yes. So I have a question I want to ask you, but you're free not to answer it. No, sure. No, I'm telling you so that in case you don't answer, so I will not feel like saying. Okay. AD accused you for one live video.
Who is AD?
Okay.
Eddie?
Eddie.
Why not AD?
Okay, sorry. Maybe I'm not.
They say Eddie, they don't know who you're talking about.
Eddie Remedy. He said you are the one that making stuff, like you are the one that causes problem that with the Kenny, stuff like that. That when you discuss his personal issue with you, you bring it to the record.
I'm happy you said that before asking the question.
So that in case you don't answer, but you're free not to
let me
comment.
answer it. Okay. Eddie can lie. He's forgiven.
Okay.
Because for everything he did, he schemed. He was always trying to scheme somebody out. With the remedies, he schemed Tony out.
Oh, he was the one.
Tony Blue.
Tony Blue.
Tony was almost a rival.
He schemed Idris out.
Idris Blue.
Idris Blue.
It is still blowing.
Idris was supposed to be Idris Remedies. He made him to sign that you will never bear the name Remedies. Is my name. He schemed him out. Idris Blue. He spoilt my name. He called me all manner of names. I blew.
You blew.
Yes.
That's
what we're here today.
He just needs to change. If he continues. Recently, they said, me and Idris restaurant, another lie. Because I have a new album. So because these people are still doing music,
and he's not.
You know, so it's not lies. Nothing was ever everything he said. Because I was a gospel artist, I couldn't fight. And again, but for the sake of our children, things we can't say because of their friends. I released the new album. This is ministry now. It's an entire worship album. It's called Symphonies of Glory. After I thought I had retired, God said, "Let me call you. Let me go retire you." And so it's like there's an Afrobeat song on it. It featured Testimony Jagger. You know, you would love the song. Is banging. Radio stations are really playing it, even at parties right now. You know, it's called Ologo Cap. So the entire album is about the glory of God. So it's called Symphonies of Glory. It's on all the platforms.
How can we get it? All the platforms?
All the platforms. I'm going Symphonies of Glory.
Symphonies of Glory. So go and check it out at all the platforms. Kenny St. Brown. All right. KSB.
So I mean, Breath of Glory, Symphonies of Glory, Ologo Kabiti, Ologo Rabata, Ologo Julo. I have Yinkaye Alashayori on it.
Wow.
I have a BJ Sax on it.
BJ Sax. I know him.
So many superstars.
It's a star-studded album.
You know,
go and check it out. Go and check it out. Wow. Mike Aremu, legend. All right, thank you very much. Please, your handle first of all.
Yes. My handle is IG Kennison Brown at _official, and TikTok Kennison Brown, Facebook Kennison Best, and BlackX. We have an official Kennison Brown. I can't remember official
All right. Thank you. My handle is at Vbaba Show. So go and follow me. KTO.
And of course, KTO Bam on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. KTO.
All right. Thank you very much for watching this very wonderful episode of HohA Podcast. Please do follow all our social media platforms to get more of our videos. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Peace out.